As the current vice president announced the running mate who she very much hopes will prove to be her vice president, Team Trump was quick to react to a choice some saw as surprising in its lean toward the ultra-progressive faction of the Democratic base. This week, I spoke one-on-one with Republican Congressman Wesley Hunt about this latest development and the pitched battle ahead. Congressman, great to see you again.
Good to see you as well. Great. Thank you for having me.
Hey, I'm going to get right to it. Make the case for Donald Trump.
So we have a choice in this country. And what we have seen for the past 4 years are open borders. We have watched our economy tank. We have seen hyperinflation, the most I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. We are on the verge of World War III if you're not paying attention to what's happening in the Middle East and what just happened with Israel. So we have a choice. Do we want 4 more years of this, or do we want the Abraham Accords? Do we want no new wars? Do we want inflation back in order? Do we want people to be able to afford and buy a home again? And most importantly, do you want a sovereign southern border, the southern border that somebody like me fought in the military for, and the #1 role of the federal government is to keep our citizens safe? We've had 11 million people that we know of enter our country illegally. So for me, if you're looking at just from a policy standpoint, this really isn't that difficult of a decision to make. And so we have a rubber match at this point. We've had 4 years of President Trump. We have had 4 years of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and it was supposed to be Joe Biden, and then he was unceremoniously removed within 48 hours. One of the most undemocratic processes I've ever seen in my entire life. But here's where we are. Kamala Harris was his vice president. So the same policy that you have seen for the past 4 years will continue with the Harris-Walz presidency. So for me, this is not even a serious conversation. This is what we have. It's a binary choice, and that's why I think President Trump's going to do very well in November.
What should the selection of Tim Walz tell independents and undecided voters?
So if y'all recall, the Summer of Love was in Minnesota. That gentleman was the arbiter of the Summer of Love. We watched our country get burned to the ground, and he sat there and did nothing about it. This is a move to even a more radical left, and that should tell independents the direction of this administration and where they want to go. And also, the money actually was on Shapiro. But why didn't Shapiro get picked? Well, because he's Jewish. And if you look at places in Michigan, Dearborn, Michigan, you look at places in Minnesota, they are pandering to the far left faction of their party. It's very, very sad. And you're going to turn the United States into Minnesota. That's not a good idea for our country, and it absolutely is even a worse idea for the state of Texas.
There's been some concern about J.D. Vance. Are you concerned he's alienating some folks, particularly women in the suburbs, and not drawing in folks that you need to win in these swing states?
President Trump, I think, made a really good point in one of his interviews. This is a referendum on the Biden-Harris administration. People don't vote for J.D. Vance. People are voting for President Trump to get this country turned around, and we cannot afford 4 more years of this. And while J.D. Vance may have had a slow start, again, that's the vice president. Everyone knows that when President Trump is in the room, President Trump is in charge. And whether you like it or not, you know who holds the gavel and you know who's in charge.
We had a Harris County Republican chairman, former Republican chairman, say, I don't want the former president to talk about race, Kamala Harris's race. He needs to focus on the fundamentals.
Yes.
Would you advise him to do that?
If we just hammer away on the issues and hammer away on the policies, then it'll be an easy choice for independents.